Coming up, how to outlast and outblast your buddies in a snowball fight.
Beat your mates with a balloon-powered racing car.
Show up a muscle man with the sensational power of salt.
And how to turn a sinking marble into a floating success story.
How on earth do you get a heavy old bag of marbles to float?
Good question. I'll just go off and soak in a tub while we try and find out.
Not so fast, Dana. I think somebody's already beaten you to the bath.
I'm in here.
Whoops. Mum's still in the bath. I think it's Mum's favourite place. Why don't I make a special potion to make her bath times even better? Hey, China, want to help me make some bath bombs for my mum? Come on. Okay, I have everything we'll need right here. That's witch hazel in the spray bottle. You can buy it in a pharmacy. Baking soda, pastry cutters for shaping our bombs, a whisk, some citric acid, and some food colouring. Our bath bombs are gonna go off.
Cheyenne and I are losing the snowball fight big time. Okay, we concede defeat. Round 1 of the great snowball fight goes to Dylan and Chase. Cheyenne and I need to build up our stock of snowballs before round 2. But we need to stop them turning to mush. Hey, mittens stop our hands from freezing. I wonder if they'd stop a snowball from melting. Let's take 2 snowballs inside. I know just how to find out if mittens can work like a mini fridge. Now, we'll put each snowball in a plastic bag. Seal them up to stop the water getting everywhere. Now I'll get Cheyenne to put one of the plastic bags inside one of my mittens. And I'll leave the other one there just in a plastic bag. Now we'll keep checking them to see which one melts first. Aha! The snowball in the mitten didn't melt nearly as much.
The reason the snowball in the mitten melted more slowly is that the mitten material contains air gaps. Heat travels very slowly through air, so the gaps acted as an insulator, preventing the snowball inside from changing temperature quickly. But plastic has no insulating air gaps, so the snowball inside melted much faster than the one in the mitten.
Okay, let's get all the mittens we can. We filled the mittens with snowballs and built up a whole arsenal of freezing cold missiles. Take that, you guys! We've just won a stunning round 2 victory.
Great comeback, Gabrielle. You sure bombarded those guys with some awesome snowballs. And speaking of bombs, I think it's time we checked on the progress of Kimberly's bath bombs.
Here's how to make brilliant bath bombs. Measure out about half a cup of baking soda and put it into a mixing bowl. Then we need about half as much citric acid in the mixture. We've got to blend this super well, otherwise the bomb won't detonate when it hits the water. Good, that should be it. Now for a few drops of food colouring to make our mixture a lovely pink colour. Now China's squirting in some witch hazel. It's a natural plant product that makes the ingredients all stick together. 2 or 3 squirts into the mix is enough to do the trick. Okay, make a lump of the mixture like this, then pack it into the moulds before it gets hard. Carefully press it into all the corners of the mould, tap the shape out, and leave it to dry. They look good. Let's try making a few more. We'll make up the same mixture as before, but this time let's make blue bombs. Now we add a few teaspoons of olive oil. It ends up in the bath water and makes your skin extra soft. We're also going to add a splash of yummy lavender oil to make them smell really nice. Squash in some witch hazel again and stir everything together. Then press the mixture into the moulds and leave them to dry out. I can't wait to try one. I wonder if Mum's out of the bath yet. Probably not.
Down to the test track to try out our new racing cars. Marcus and I have made them from boxes, drinking straws and cotton reels. Oh dear, I'd hardly call them jet-powered. Seems like Marcus has got an idea though. Aha, good one, Marcus. He really is making our cars jet-powered. Powered by a jet of air from a balloon. Go, Marcus. I'm going to give mine a jet turbocharge too. Time for a test run. Yay! They go like rockets. Okay, our jet-powered engines are fueled up and ready to go. Okay, racers, start your engines. 3, 2, 1, go! Awesome! Orange wins and green comes in. Well, bad luck, Marcus.
Marcus and Nicole's cars are propelled along as high-pressure air trapped in the balloon is released. As the air is forced through the balloon's nozzle, it encounters resistance from the still air behind the car, which pushes it forward just like a real jet engine.
And now for race 2. I win again! Looks like it's back to the drawing board for Marcus.
Oh, well, nothing a little bit of backyard testing won't solve.
Which is exactly what Lara's about to do. She's trying to make marbles float.
I'd love to be a sailor, living a life of adventure on the wide blue seas. My little red boat would sail through even the roughest storms. Oh no! Little red boat sank when it filled up with water. It must have been too heavy. But real boats float and they're heavy. I'm going to find out why things float. First, I'll try floating a marble in this bowl of water. It's not very heavy, but it sinks. What about a smaller one? No, it sinks too. This modelling clay isn't very heavy. I wonder if it floats. Nope. Straight to the bottom again. Maybe if I make it flat, that'll help it float. If I just squish it on the table here, now it's flat like a leaf. And leaves float. No, it still sinks, though a little slower than before. My little red boat floats, and it weighs about the same as the modelling clay. What if I try making a boat shape out of the clay and see if that keeps it on top of the water? I think I'll name it the good ship Lara, after me. Yay! It floats really easily. I reckon it could even take some cargo. How about a few marbles? One big marble? No problem. 10 marbles and the good ship Lara is still sailing.
An object will float if it weighs less than the amount of water it pushes away or displaces. A marble and a ball of clay weigh more than the amount of water they displace, so they sink. But making the modelling clay into a wide boat shape increases the amount of water it displaces, so it can float.
My new boat seems to be unsinkable. Uh-oh. Maybe I spoke too soon. Now it's sunken treasure. Look at Tamiana go. He's pumped. Those new dumbbells have made him think he's a superhero. Well, I've got a little strength challenge for his new muscles. And he might just find he's not as strong as he thinks. Hey, Mr. Muscles. Bet you can't tear this piece of tissue paper. I
I like your confidence, Tammy. I'll just put the paper over the end of this cardboard tube and attach it with a rubber band. Next, I'm going to pour in some salt to about halfway up the tube. Now, Mr. Universe, can you break through the tissue paper by smashing down on the top of the salt with the handle of this mallet? Haha, you can't do it. That tissue paper is too strong for you, Mr. Puniverse.
There are thousands of grains of salt in the tube, and between them are tiny spaces filled with air. As Tamiana bangs down on the salt, all his energy pushes the grains closer together. There's no energy left to break through the tissue paper.
It's no good, Tammy. You can't do it. Time to let a strong woman show you how to tear the tissue paper.
Boy, Kerry Ann sure blew Tammy's strongman act out of the water.
And I can't wait to see if Kimberly's bath bombs are going to do much the same thing.
China and I have made up some bath bombs to give to my bath-loving mum. The blue ones even have some skin-softening olive oil in them and a dash of lavender oil to make them smell sweet. After 3 hours drying, the bombs are solid and ready. Let's go try some out. Yes! Mum is finally out of the bath. Okay, watch this, China. Here goes. The big fizz test. Cool! Look at that explosion. What a great way to make bath time even more fun.
The fantastic fizz that happens when the bomb hits the water is the result of a chemical reaction. The citric acid reacts with the baking soda to create carbon dioxide gas bubbles that fizz away into the water. As the bomb dissolves, the lavender fragrance is released. How relaxing.
Uh-oh, only one left. I suppose we could give it to Mum. Nah, this is too much fun.
Right, that's it. Now I'm really going for a good long soak in the bath.
Actually, Dana, we're all going, because we've just come to the end of another show. See you next time. Coming up, invent your own heat-keeping teacup.
Learn the secret of levitating limbs.
How to stump a strongman with a puny little pencil.
Then spear it straight through a water bag without spilling a drop.
Now that I have to try. Stand back, Dana. I need a little space.
Speaking of space, slow down, Taryn. We have a real space story first, because Larissa's suddenly become moonstruck.
I think the moon is amazing. Look, craters of all different shapes and sizes. I know meteors hurtle through space and slam into the moon. That's what makes craters. But why are some bigger than others? Is it just because some meteors are bigger? Or does their speed make a difference? Hey, you guys! That's my moon! You can't run off with my moon! Give it back, you galaxy-stealing villains! I was in the middle of using that moon for something. Right, that's it. Game over for you two. Hey! It's left a crater in the sands. I've just thought of a way to find out why some moon craters are bigger than others. Come with me, you two space monkeys. Jordan, Nicole and Damon are doing their homework out in the garden. Hey guys!
You all look really bored. Come on, wake up. I want to show you my latest trick. I have a magic plastic bag that will never leak. I'm going to fill it up with some of this water. Now I'll seal up the top so it doesn't spill over. There! Now do you think I can fill this bag with holes and not spill a single drop of water? I'm going to take this pencil and stab it right through the bag. Just like this. Look, not a single drop has escaped. That was no fluke either. I can do it again. Easy. Now pencil number 3 goes through here. And still not a drop has leaked. One more. There. 4 pencils in the bag and the water just won't leak out. Magic.
The bag is made of plastic, which is quite stretchy. This is because its molecules are formed in long chains known as polymers. When the tip of the pencil goes through the side of the bag, it's really just slipping in between the stretchy chains of molecules. The molecules then seal back around the pencil so that no water comes out.
See, I told you it was a magic bag. Here, you guys have a turn. I've got to go. Start by pulling out the pencils.
All of a sudden I'm having second thoughts about this. And I think Larissa's been having some second thoughts too about what causes moon craters.
When Michael threw my ball into the sand, a great idea hit me like a meteor. I thought of a way to find out why some moon craters are bigger than others. I just need to borrow a bit of sand from the beach. This is going to be the surface of my moon. We'll just smooth it all out so it's flat. I'll get Michael to spray the top with water. That'll make the top layer of sand stick together, a bit more like the moon's crusty surface. Those marbles are going to be our intergalactic meteors. We'll drop 1 each from 3 different heights. I'll stand on the bottom step and drop mine first. Now Tina will drop hers from 1 step higher. That way it'll be moving slightly faster when it hits the sand. Okay, now Michael will drop his from 1 step higher still. That'll be the fastest meteor. I knew it! Our meteors were all the same size, but the fastest meteor left the biggest crater. Now let's try bigger meteors. These golf balls are bigger and heavier. Meteors away! Yep, the larger meteors create bigger craters. What about when they hit the moon at an angle? Would it make a different shaped crater? Let's prepare our moon surface for more testing. Now let's hit it with an angled meteor attack. The craters aren't as round as before. The impacts are not as round as before. They're wider and more oval shaped. They spread out as the meteor skids to a stop.
A meteor is a rock travelling through space. It can leave a crater when it hits another object, such as the moon. The size of the meteor and the speed at which it is travelling does affect the size crater it leaves. On planet Earth, there are about 120 known meteor craters.
So now we know what happens when meteors hit. I wonder whether any have hit around here. I'm going to go looking for my own meteor.
Paul and I can't sit still for a minute before we set each other another challenge. The old arm wrestle. Nut is too strong. Paul wins that one every time. Back to the puzzles. I need a new challenge. Hey, this pencil. Yes. This pencil is as light as a feather. Let's see if Mr. Strongarm can hold it up for 5 minutes. Easy, he says. We'll just see. Okay, the timer is on. 3 minutes. His arm is starting to look heavy. I bet he can't make 5 minutes. That lightweight pencil is beginning to weigh him down. 4 minutes. The next minute will be the real test. He's down! Now we're even.
Holding your arm out for longer than 5 minutes is hard going because our body needs to supply extra blood to the muscles in the arm doing the work. And another thing, while Paul's muscle was working, something called lactic acid built up in his muscles, making his arm feel stiff and sore.
Man, that really was some challenge. I think Paul's arm wrestling days are over.
Taran thinks he can hold his arm up longer than Paul did. We'll see about that. And while I'm waiting, I think I'll have a nice cup of tea, just like Grace.
There's nothing better than a good book and a nice warm mug of tea. Oh, it's gone stone cold. Heat must have escaped out of the top for sure. And maybe through the sides. Right. Time to invent the perfect heat-keeping cup. I'll start by wrapping some shiny foil around one of my jars. Now I'll fill it up with warm water and pop the lid on. And I'll put some of the same warm water in this unprotected jar. Then I'll sit my heat-keeping jar on a piece of cork inside the larger container. Inside it goes, and the lid goes on. Now we just have to wait a few minutes, then compare the temperature of the 2 lots of water. Right, back to my book. All right, time to check their temperatures. Wow, the unprotected jar is hardly warm at all now. Now for my heat-keeping jar. Aha! It's still almost as warm as when I put it in.
Grace's clever heat-keeping ideas worked for several reasons. Most effective of all, the lid stopped water evaporating and taking heat away in the process. Next most helpful, the air gap between the jars stopped heat travelling outwards, in much the same way as the cork stopped heat leaking out the bottom of the jar. The shiny foil also helps by keeping reflected heat trapped inside the jar.
My theories worked. Now I know how to enjoy a really nice warm cup of tea. Now, where was I?
Aha! Rebecca's got my game! Right, she's not leaving this room until she hands it over. If I press my arms hard against the door, she'll never push past me. Hey! Darn, never thought about that getaway. Hey! What's happening to my arms? They're pressing up by themselves. That is so weird. They've never done it before. I wonder why. Let's see. I was standing with my arms pressed hard against the door for about a minute. Up they go! It's happening again! It's like one of those magic tricks that you see on TV.
It does look like a magician's levitation act, but this is a trick between your mind and your muscles. Jordan's brain tells his muscles to tense up so he can press against the door. When Jordan relaxes his arms, there is still tension stored in the muscles, causing his brain to send a signal to raise his arms.
My muscles have a mind of their own. And they've just helped me get my game back. Game over, Rebecca.
Well, at least Jordan found his game.
And I think Larissa might be about to find what she's been looking for too.
If meteors can be really big and fast moving through space, maybe they can be very small too. They could even be tiny specks of dust. That gives me an idea. I'm going to go hunting for micrometeors. This screen has plenty of dust on it. Maybe there are some micrometeors on there. I'll brush them onto this white paper so they're easier to see. That should do it. There are lots of tiny particles here. I can't tell if they've come from outer space just by looking at them. My trusty magnifying glass might help me. Yeah, some of the specks look shiny. I wonder if they're made of metal. I know some meteors have metals in them that are magnetic. So if I get my magnet, it might pick up any magnetic micrometeorites. Wow, some of them are sticking. Look at those. Could they be from space?
Space dust and particles are constantly entering the Earth's atmosphere. A lot of this dust has been travelling in space for millions of years. Many of these particles travel through the Earth's atmosphere until they hit the ground.
Wow! People spend millions of dollars looking for meteors in space, and all the time, tiny meteors were lying here right under my nose.
Which all goes to show some of the coolest science happens in your own house.
And we've got heaps more cool stuff ready and raring to go next time.
See you then!